What's good to the congregation and beyond? It's your boy Fen checking in with big thanks to EA for sponsoring my picks for this year's Team of the Year in Madden 23. 98 of the best players in the NFL to choose from across offense, defense, and special teams. And I might be selling bag on my pick for halfback here already. But this is going to be my first vote. I want to go through with my picks, who I'll be choosing, who I think is probably going to win. Outside of golden tickets, this is one of the only opportunities the community has to have a hands-on choice as to the cards coming out in the game. The team will be announced March 8th. The program drops March 9th. But voting closes tomorrow. So if you want to be heard, tap in with me. Hit that link. We could run through this thing together. Let's tap in and see what we got. So the link will drop you off here at the homepage for Team of the Year in Madden, give you a little rundown of the program, what to expect, when to expect it, and your 3 columns of nominees across offense, defense, and special teams. You scroll all the way through this list and you'll get the option to choose at the bottom here whether you want to start offense, defense, or your specials. We're going to do all 3. I figure let's start from the top with the offense. Get me to Saquon expeditiously. All right, our offensive selections. Let's start with the quarterback, man. Your options: Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Justin Fields, Herbert, and Mahomes. I think, honestly, this comes down to an easy choice between 2, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, your Super Bowl starting quarterbacks. I think there's a pretty high chance that Jalen, even though he's got a great card in the game already, I think Jalen might catch the dub on the vote here. As a Giants fan, I'm physically unable to lean Jalen. Love Joe Burrow and how he plays. Josh Allen is a guy that went to school in New York, got a soft spot for Josh in the Bills as well. But just objectively speaking, cannot vote against Pat Mahomes here for the top spot. Quarterback, Pat Mahomes is my vote. And we'll drag him in there. Beautiful. Halfback. Spoiler alert. Y'all could have guessed where this was leaning at the beginning of the video. Your options: Christian McCaffrey, Jamal Williams, Nick Chubb, Saquon, Tony Pollard, and Josh Jacobs. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm being a homer with this one when I think Saquon is the clear choice. Love watching Christian McCaffrey on that rush first offense, playing essentially without a quarterback in San Fran, especially toward the end of the season there. Tony Pollard, now running back 1 in Dallas. Zeke, I'm looking at you. What happened, buddy? What's going on? Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, always exciting to watch with how much power they're bringing on the ground. I love a good running game. This was a shoe-in for me. Saquon, easy choice at halfback. Lock him in. Moving right along, wide out 1. This is also a pretty easy choice for me. Your options: Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, and Jamar Chase. Now, I think there's an argument, the Adam Thielen argument to be made, right? That this Justin Jefferson offense was because everything was designed to run through him, but you still just don't see the type of production, both in Madden and on the real gridiron, that you see, that we saw, rather, from Justin Jefferson this year. Tyreek Hill going to be a perennial threat, fastest guy in the league. CeeDee Lamb is a cowboy. And Jamar Chase, also spectacular. That's a close one for me. I almost wish I could go Jettas at the 1 and then Jamar at the 2. Those would be my choices if I could make them. I could see Jamar maybe pulling this one out. I think Jettas probably gets it fairly easily, though. That's also going to be my vote at wide receiver here. Next spot we got to fill, wide out 2. Your options: A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, and Stephon Diggs. Tough one here, again, as a Giants fan. I think, objectively speaking, A.J. Brown probably takes this. Devontae Adams kind of lost outside of Green Bay, I think, right now. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think, still on his campaign to announce himself that he's really arrived. Jalen Waddle and Stephon Diggs, super impressive. I don't like how Diggs handled himself during the playoff loss there. It pains me so, but I got to lean A.J. Brown here. I would expect that Devontae Adams probably gets the win on the vote. Next spot up to fill, tight end. This seems like a 2-man race to me, similar to how wide out 1 did. Your options: George Kittle, Mark Andrews, TJ Hockenson, and Travis Kelce. This is just Kittle or Kelce to me, and while I think Kelce is going to win the vote, I'm going to lean Kittle. All of his Madden cards are consistently good run blockers, and as a toter, that's going to be important to me. I think another Kittle would be great for my offense. So while I do think that Kelce is probably the best tight end in the league and may well win this Team of the Year vote, I'm leaning Kittle for my selfish run blocking purposes, and he could catch a football too, gosh darn it. Now to the big dogs. This is really what I came for here. The O-line. Love this, man. Left tackle, left guard, we'll work all the way across. Left tackle up first. Andrew Thomas, Christian Darrisaw, Trent Williams. This one is also challenging as a Giants fan. Trent Williams, if you've seen any of his highlight tapes, what he can do to grown men in the NFL, it is spectacular. And as someone who loves watching the play in the trenches, Trent Williams is objectively one of my favorite players in the NFL right now, honestly. Andrew Thomas, I think on his campaign to announce himself as a real star in the league, was rated one of the best pass blockers throughout the first few weeks of the season, and is also a Giant. I think Trent Williams wins this vote. Me personally, I have to go Andrew Thomas, the homer, the Giant pick. But I'm thinking Trent Williams wins this, and I got no issue with that whatsoever. Andrew Thomas, lock me in for left tackle. More Big Daddy-O's. We're moving along to left guard. We got options for Joe Bitonio, Joe TOTY, and Quentin Nelson. TOTY, with as successful as his team was, I think is an easy choice to make. For me, I gotta lean Quentin Nelson. Yeah, I heard reports that he fell off a little bit, maybe not quite as dominant as he was over the last couple of years. I think it's tough to maintain such a high bar as he set for himself as literally the best guard in the NFL. I still got some faith. I love how he plays the game, so angry in the trenches. Q, Quentin Nelson is my choice here, left guard. Finally up through the centers, man. This spot is close to home for me. It's what I played in high school, in college. I pay a lot of attention to the position, and this is painful. I have absolutely no choice but to nominate an Eagle here. Your options: Creed Humphrey, Frank Ragnow, and Kelsey. Also love Creed Humphrey, especially as a young gun. I think he's going to be the best center in the NFL pretty quickly. Jason Kelsey, though, for now, it's really no doubt. He's not the most massive human being if you've seen him doing battle with some of these defensive tackles, but he moves, bodies, and despite being an Eagle, is unfortunately my runaway pick for Team of the Year center. Lock me in for Jason Kelsey. Last two spots to fill for our Team of the Year offense. We got the right guard options: Chris Lindstrom, Mike Onwenu, and Zach Martin. Oh, God. We couldn't possibly put up a Cowboy here, could we? It's the right answer, though. This is tough. Yeah, Popular Stranger's not going to like this. Zach Martin just is the right choice here. Cowboy or not. I don't want to say anything else about it, man. Whatever. Zach Martin, Cowboy record. Oh, cool. And last but certainly not least, our right tackle options to round out this Team of the Year offense. Your options: Lane Johnson, Ryan Ramczyk, and Tristan Wirfs. I don't really think you could go wrong with any of these three. I think very likely Lane Johnson wins this vote, especially with how well he played against elite pass rushers late in the Eagles' super successful Super Bowl run. Ryan Ramczyk, same thing. You're going to be able to make a great case for him. I'm leaning personally Tristan Wirfs here because lots of his tackle cards in Madden have great speed, and when I'm looking at speed and run block finesse, capability to get up to the second level and get in front of these increasingly fast halfbacks, I love how athletic Tristan Wirfs' cards are. IRL, he's an absolute monster. So while I think Lane Johnson probably gets the dub here, I'm going to limit Eagles and Cowboys on my Team of the Year offense, and I'm leaning Tristan Wirfs at right tackle. And there's the offense, folks. Left to right across the O-line: Andrew Thomas, Quentin Nelson, Jason Kelsey, Zach Martin, and Tristan Wirfs. Our wideouts: Jettas and A.J. Brown, Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback spot, Saquon Barkley, the one and only, in the backfield, and George Kittle at tight end. Not necessarily the players I think will absolutely win the votes here, but for the way I like to play, for my Team of the Year, no question, lock in my offense, vote on it. Vote submitted. We're official now, folks. Come on. Let's get a defense in next. All right, with our offense locked in, we got opportunities for defense and special teams up next. I downloaded the screenshot that they give you the option to. I'm going to post that up on my Twitter a little bit later so you can peep that as well. Let's tap in for defense and see what we got going here. And moving right along to the defense, we'll start at the top here with our options for middle linebacker. You got Bobby Wagner, Demario Davis, Fred Warner, Levante David, and Tremaine Edmunds. My top two out of this category, probably Tremaine Edmunds and Fred Warner. I'm going to lean Fred Warner just because of how much I loved watching the Niners defense this year, flying around your boy Hufanga at the safety spot. Not a Niners fan, but everything running through Fred Warner and the fact that he could play pass coverage like a defensive back. Maybe throw a lurker on him, get some animations. Hear me out. Fred Warner, easily my choice for middle linebacker, although I don't think you can really go wrong here. Lock me in. Next position group, left outside linebacker. We got options for Alex Highsmith, Daniil Hunter, Hassan Reddick, and Matthew Judon. I really wish that a recurring theme of this team of the year wasn't Eagles and Cowboys being the right choices here, but I lament to inform you here that the right choice is indeed Hassan Reddick. That Eagles defensive front, putting up sack numbers really unlike anything I've seen lately, and a lot of that runs through Hassan Reddick. I don't love it, but an easy choice indeed. Lock me in for left outside linebacker. Next spot available, and the plot yet thickens for a Giants fan. It's becoming way less fun as time goes. I'm only joking, but for goodness sakes, man, the right call here is Micah Parsons. Your options for right outside: Dre Greenlaw, Jalen Phillips, Khalil Mack, and Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons might be the best defensive player in the league. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Yeah, give me the card. He's spectacular. I'm sure he'll be a great pass rusher. Give me some discounted abilities. Micah Parsons, right outside linebacker. Moving on. Okay, finally. Not a choice of an Eagle or a Cowboy. Love this for us. Right defensive end. Your options: Montez Sweat, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa. Montez Sweat cards in Madden are always cracked. Myles Garrett's had some good ones here as well. Back to my point about Fred Warner, man, that 49ers defense was so fun to watch, so spectacular. I think Nick Bosa is one of the best ends in the league right now, if not indeed the top spot. I don't think you could possibly go wrong here at right defensive end. I truly would not be sad for any of these three players to make it. I think very likely Bosa wins, and that's also going to be my choice here. Although I really wouldn't be surprised if the Madden community pulls a Montez Sweat out of their hats just because his cards are always so freaking good. Nick Bosa, lock me in for right end. Few spots left to fill here on the defensive front. We got defensive tackles up next. You got four options: Chris Jones, Derek Brown, Dexter Lawrence, and Quinnen Williams. Now hear me out. You might have seen this coming. I'm about to make another homer pick in Sexy Dexy. Chris Jones is going to win this vote as probably, I think, kind of the new Aaron Donald. I think he is that guy at defensive tackle now. So it is my expectation that Chris Jones wins this vote here at D tackle. I'm voting Dexter Lawrence because of how much I think he's underrated. I won't say disrespected because I know a lot of players give him his flowers, but you know, for all the work that he does for the Giants and not being tip of the tongue for one of the best defensive linemen in the league, I got to start at home with getting his name even more so on the map than it already is. Dexter Lawrence, my team of the year pick for defensive tackle, although I do think Chris Jones takes that, and either way, it's going to be a great card. Up next, we got left defensive end. Three options here: Brian Burns, Jerry Hughes, and Max Crosby. This one's a pretty easy one for me. I love watching Brian Burns play as well, but Max Crosby put some stuff on tape this year that will literally be shown at defensive line clinics for a long time to come. It's remarkable. This is more for me based on what, watching him on the field of play rather than what the Madden card would look like. But if they give him any moves off of the edge like he's got in real life, Max Crosby is going to be a big problem for opposing quarterbacks. I'm leaning Max Crosby for my left end spot. Lock me in. Let's start with the strong safety spot. Your options: Budda Baker, Derwin James, Ronnie McLeod, Ryan Neal, and Talanoa Hufanga. To be completely honest with you, I didn't know Talanoa Hufanga was indeed an option for Team of the Year. This might be a little preemptive. Watching him in the playoffs, he also missed a couple tackles. I'm leaning heavily on IRL play here, but I think he is already and is going to continue to be one of the most talented defensive players in the league. And again, I have no love for the 49ers. I got no hate for them either. I feel nothing about them, but the defense is spectacular. And this Hufanga dude, I can't tell if it's the hair or just being everywhere on the defensive field. This dude is him. I think if a Madden card could replicate that nasty, crazy energy that he plays with, Hufanga is going to be a big old problem for me. Lock him in at safety. Opposite our boy Hufanga on our squad here, your free safety options: Antoine Winfield, Justin Simmons, Kevin Byard, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Tyrann Mathieu. I don't think you could go wrong with any of these guys. This one's actually might be one of our tougher choices yet here. This one's tough because I think all their teams kind of stink. So you got to kind of isolate from the squad. I'm going to lean Minkah here for no other reason than I think he's had the best Madden cards of this group for the longest. Give me a Minkah upgrade. I don't really think you could go wrong. I don't know, man. This one's tough. A little bit of indecision here. I'm going to go Minkah, though, for my free safety spot. Second to last spot we have to fill here. Cornerback 1, and then we'll bring it home with our second cornerback spot at the 1. Options for Jalen Ramsey, Marlon Humphrey, Patrick Surtain, and Stephon Gilmore. I'm still leaning Jalen Ramsey here. I think Patrick Surtain is kind of up next. I don't think Stephon Gilmore, honestly, I might get some hate for this. I don't think he fits the rest of this list. I think this is Ramsey, Humphrey, and Surtain, and then Gilmore, respectfully. I'm leaning Jalen Ramsey, cornerback 1. Also always has great Madden cards. Lock me in. And last but certainly not least, on the defense, 5 options for a cornerback 2. Tyson Campbell, Javarius Ward, Darius Slay, Jair Alexander, and Sauce Gardner. Okay, another Eagle has entered the fray here. Darius Slay should win that vote. And Sauce Gardner is a PI expert. I don't know how dude does not get called. Having said that, I am indeed going to put Sauce here. Even though he's plays for that other team that plays in MetLife. I think Slay very likely wins this vote, but Sauce Gardner, about as exciting a young corner as is in the league, and I'm excited to see what he does next. So there's the squad. Micah Fitzpatrick, Hufanga, Hassan Reddick, Fred Warner, Micah Parsons, Jalen Ramsey, Max Crosby, Sexy Dexy Lawrence, Nick Bosa, and Sauce Gardner to round things out. So let it be the defense. Lock me in. Beautiful. Let me get this image here too. And to finish out our round of voting, we've done the offense, we've done a defense. Let's get our specialists together here. This is where that team overall starts to swing, right? As the Madden veterans know, you can't tip that 99 overall team until you got your kickers and your punters right. Let's see what we got options for in our specialist vote here. And to round things out for Team of the Year, our specialist bucket. Not just kickers and punters, but indeed fullback, kicker, punter, slot cornerback, your third down halfback, slot wideout, your rush defender, and your returner. So if you've seen a Team of the Year promo before, this is a full category in and of itself. I'm always excited about the fullbacks, but good options here top to bottom. Let's start from the top. Our fullback spot, your options, Patrick Ricard, Kyle Juszczyk, and Alec Ingold. This is a 2-man race for me between Ricard and Hughes. I think very likely Kyle Juszczyk wins this vote. For my running purposes, I would love a 300-pound functional fullback in Patrick Ricard. A literal head of steam anytime he touches the football. I think Juszczyk maybe a little bit better in like open field blocking. I would not hate to see him win this vote either. I'm going to lean Patrick Ricard for my choice here at fullback. Next spot to fill might be our shortest conversation yet, with full respect to my man Daniel Carlson. Your kicker options, Justin Tucker, Daniel Carlson. This is just Tucker for probably as long as he's in the league and kicking the absolute bejesus out of that football like he is. I don't even think there's really a close second. Respectfully, Mr. Carlson, this is Justin Tucker all day, every day, all the time. Our punter spot, not going to be massively utilized in the old John Madden football. Having said that, your options. Tommy Townsend and Braden Mann. I'm going to lean Braden Mann here for reasons. Yeah, you punt sometimes. Next spot to fill, slot cornerback. Options for Jalen Ramsey, Tyson Campbell, Jair Alexander, Javarius Ward, Gilmore, Humphrey, Surtain, Slay, and Sauce. I got to throw Slay in here. It was really being a Homer Giants fan that kept him off of my CB list on Team of the Year for defense. I don't feel like I could snub him literally 3 times over. Easily one of the best cornerbacks in the league, whether slot or outside. Darius Slay is going to be my pick here. Eagles jersey notwithstanding. Or slot cornerback, whatever. Moving on. Next spot to fill, our third down back. 3 options for us here. Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, and Jerick McKinnon. I'm leaning... Oh, it's a tough one. I'm going to lean Jerick McKinnon here. For specifically a third down halfback, I feel like Eckler can be an any down back. And if you're asking me for a third down back specifically, I'm going to go ahead and lean Jerick McKinnon. A few spots left to fill here. Slot wide receiver. Options for Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Waddle, A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. I don't think there's any way we could possibly leave Jamar Chase off. Again, not even really a slot receiver, but based on our choices for Team of the Year offense at wide receiver, not getting the chance to put Jamar Chase, a vote in for Jamar. This one is pretty easy for me. Jamar Chase at the slot, even if he's not a slot. Second to last spot to fill on our team is a rush defender. 3 options: Christian Wilkins, Cameron Hayward, and Javon Hargrave. This one's a toss-up for me. I mean, if I had a 3-headed coin, I could almost flip this thing. I think all these guys are spectacular in the pass rush. I'm going to lean Cameron Hayward. And last but certainly not least, our returner choices: Nyheim Hines, Jamal Agnew, and Keyshawn Nixon. Kind of like rush defender. I see this one as a little bit of a toss-up. And last but certainly not least, our options for returner on the squad for Team of the Year. Your options: Nyheim Hines, Jamal Agnew, and Keyshawn Nixon. This was a tough one for me. Felt like a toss-up just based on plays I remember from these guys happening during the year. It wound up swinging on the fact that Jamal Agnew's got the tie for the NFL record on a kick return of 109 yards. Literally came down to a Google search for me on this one. I'm going to leave Jamal Agnew. I don't think you could go wrong at returner here either. And to bring this thing home, man, submitted our offense, submitted our defense. Let's ship in our specialist here as well. Submit my vote, download my image, and we are officially Team of the Year voters. And there you have it, folks. My picks for offense, defense, and specialists on this year's Team of the Year in Madden 23. Make sure you vote yourself at the link below in the description or above if you're watching on Twitter. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you again to EA for the big sponsorship. The community really appreciates when you give us these opportunities. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video, man. Peace.